time clock. Like, it's not.
So for those of you who don't know, one of the players of Granit Gaming, because you can't see the chat on the stream, one of the players of Granit Gaming was citing the specific time as being 2 minutes later over there than it was over here. And as Cav said, we don't think that's how time works, but we'll see. Now coming in to game number 1 of series number 4, our final series of the day, best of 2, so only 2 games being played no matter what. And Granit Gaming going to have first pick off of the map pick by Rage Quit Gaming.
That's interesting, man. One of the things that's worth noting about Granite Gaming is I mean, everyone on the team except for Azurite is famous, old school famous. But when you think about heroes that have been changed since they were playing, they might not have enough practice to really feel like they're 100% comfortable on them. So even though Lucio is something we've seen first pick him out of Eternity, instead Granite Gaming is first banning it because Smexy probably doesn't have enough experience on new Lucio to have the same impact on him that he's going to have on something like Karazim, which hasn't changed very much.
Karazim is so crazy to watch on Smexy. I said it before, I've been casting Masters Clash. I think this is my 3rd week of doing it now. And I think Smexy has played Karazim in at least one of the 2 games of every best of 2 that I've seen him in, if not both games. All right, he has a clear preference, and I almost wonder if or when teams might take notice of that. I think that if Smexy continues to pick the Karazim, it's worthy of some attention. Of course, the early Li Ming priority, always a factor on Battlefield of Eternity, does get locked by Poik. What's going on, Kev? What do you think
I feel bad for Rage Quit Gaming now.
Poik Li Ming, that intense, that scary, you think?
Yeah. So Poik used to, back in the day, do 5 minutes of custom drills every day on Li Ming. Every day. He's the only player that's ever pulled off the level 20 repulsion combo in an actual game. He did it very famously at MSB. But he also has pulled off versions of the repulsion combo or even just a standard wave of force combo that other people never even tried for. And, sometimes he misses it. But if Poik's on point with Li Ming, you're just not going to win. It's just... unless your comp is extremely resistant to resets. But then, like... Anubarak theoretically is a hero that cannot die to Ming, but in higher levels of play, Ming actually counters Anubarak because you can just play around his W cooldown and you counter Cocoon so incredibly hard.
Well, you choose
to go Disintegrate.
Well, Li Ming hasn't been able to blink Cocoon since like late 2019. That got patched out of the game a while ago.
Yeah, but Cocoon range got nerfed to like 6.
Okay,
you just stay out of 6 range of Anubarak. It's not.
Yeah, if you are able to position very safely... rocket surgery, of course. If you're able to position safely, then you can simply disintegrate anybody else who ever gets cocooned. You do, of course, have to mind your own positioning and make sure that that's not a threat on you specifically. Now, Malfurion, what's up?
The only person that I'd be worried about playing Ming into on Anubarak is if the enemy tank was JPL, because JPL invented a tech to sort of counterplay the disintegrate. But that's not JPL, so should be fine.
We will see. I remember JPL, you're talking about when he would cocoon a player and then instantly charge the Li Ming, expecting the Li Ming player to disintegrate the cocoon.
Yeah, and you can't, there's a brief period where you can't cancel disintegrate, and if Anubarak is fast enough, you will actually get hit for the disintegrate guaranteed by the... You have to have... Your team has to be on the same page. Your team has to be like, I'm going to go in with you. The examples we have from scrims, the JPL ended up later posting, we had like Wubby on Urel going onto the Ming at the same time and also knocking away the saves at the same time. So it requires a lot of coordination, but if you can, coordinate, it's an insane tech. Is this going to be Malf with no save mechanic into a cocoon dive comp? Granted, Gaming's execution is potentially good enough to make this work, but this is actually kind of spooky.
Yep, Malfurion notably not particularly able to save teammates from big burst damage. And looking at the draft of Rage Quit Gaming, they're going all in on big burst damage.
I want Malf to die multiple times this game.
I think that even if this is a victory for the members of Granite Gaming, ultimately, I do think that at least a couple different times throughout the game, we are going to see big burst damage pressure that this Malfurion just will not be able to save teammates from, as we now go into load screen for this game. This is, of course, Rage Quit Gaming versus Granite Gaming. Number 4 and 5, the two teams that are just outside of being guaranteed to go to LAN. They want to secure as good of positioning as possible for either the LAN or the Gauntlet. And can Rage Quit Gaming theoretically make it, Kev, at this point?
Theoretically, I believe so, because they are in the 5th position.
Is it Masters Clash Academy that might be too far? I'm just curious if you could potentially walk me through off stream after this game which teams are exactly mathematically eliminated and what they need to do. I think that would be really good stuff.
I can give you that number. That's easy.
Okay, alrighty.
There are 15 remaining points, so any team that can't theoretically get up to 22 points is mathematically eliminated. So Granite Gaming can get to 27, Rage Quit Gaming can get to 25, Masters Clash Academy can get to 23. So only Three-Legged Cat and Ending for Ruby are absolutely guaranteed to not be able to get top 3.
And keep in mind, Masters Clash Academy, the game has started, by the way, chat. I just wanted to show you guys their standings for just a moment there. The two teams going into the lanes now, Granite Gaming going bot side and Rage Quit Gaming going top side. I do want to point out, though, Masters Clash Academy theoretically can hit 23 points, but because of the way the scoring is structured, that would require them to 2-0 literally every single game they play for the next 4 series. So, very tall task for Masters Clash. And meanwhile,
technically possible.
Granite Gaming would need to do rather well, but not quite as perfectly. And now we can introduce these players. Probably my latest player introduction that I've ever done in a game. But for the right side of Granite Gaming, we have Azurite playing the Cassia. Poik on Poik with that Li Ming. On point on Poik with that Li Ming. Breeze going to be playing the Muradin, and Smexy on that Malfurion. Up in the top side is, of course, Wubby on his classic Irel. Who do we have for Rage Quit Gaming, Kev?
On the left-hand side, we have Peepo Shy Uwu on Hanzo. No Game, No Life on Karazim. Shishak 1D on Nubrak. Limu on Genji, and some scrub in top lane who's not on the map in the middle of this fight right now. Both offlaners actually rotating or trying to rotate. They're sort of interfering with each other in mid lane while this fight is happening. Huge Hanzo scatter going down, getting a lot of damage on, but No Game, No Life is the first person to die on Karazim, and Granite Gaming secures that bottom camp.
That scrub, by the way, is Muranas, for those of you who are curious. Over there, and Limu actually ganking Wubby, able to finish him off. Wubby will go down, evening up the kill count between these two teams. 1-1, a well-timed Wubby gank. Wubby receiving a gank from that Genji means that Muranas and Limu able to secure that top siege camp. Meanwhile, in bot lane, the push continues from Granite Gaming, trying to keep this camp alive as long as possible. The camp only just now going to start taking damage after most of the gate gone in bot lane.
I'm a little concerned that they took so long to clear that camp, because now they also have to rotate to their bruisers to get that bruiser timing out. Breeze just chilling in the bush, looking. He's not looking to find anything. He's just going to catch that soak, and then he steps out as soon as he sees the enemy team leave. He waits for that to happen, so there's no potential chance that he could die.
I think that in Heroes of the Storm, okay, one thing that has bugged me in the past is that I think players tend to focus on the execution of plays rather than just taking plays that are smart. For example, I think a lot of players would rather dodge a Stitches hook than stand in a place where Stitches can't hook them. Similarly, you're talking about Breeze setting himself in a situation where he just can't die because he waited for just the Anubrak to be there. But talking about this, they go in on Breeze, not able to get much of any damage on him at all, though, from Rage Quit Gaming. The pressure continues. Now Bruiser Camp's pushing both side lanes, one for each team. The race getting started a bit from Muranas, getting a bit of chip damage onto the structure. Meanwhile, Wubby playing interference on the bot side push as well. Both teams just trying to clear out each other's camps. Granit Gaming beginning to siege onto this Immortal now.
Ooh. Nice blind by Azerite onto the Karazim. It's going to temporarily eliminate his damage threat, but Azerite actually almost ends up going down. They almost get the counter kill into no game, no life. And wow, the brawl is real. But anytime you have the situation where both teams are taking a lot of damage, the better sustain healer is going to give you a better second fight. And Karazim, not a lot of sustain healing. Mouth, very good sustain healing. But as I say that, Karazim and Muradin both go down.
Hippo Shai Uwu, I think, actually dodged the Arcane Orb, but the Beetle from Shizakid making him tank it over the wall. Each team exchanging a kill, but Granit Gaming is the first of the two to get started with racing this Immortal, feeling no need to tap their healing fountain, unlike the much lower HP members of Rage Quit Gaming, meaning that this objective, barring anything crazy, is currently heavily advantaged in favor of Granit, who get the race started right away.
And Granit's definitely going to win this, despite being down on talent. They might have to int someone for it, like someone might have to die to secure the Immortal, but you don't want to be down in experience and lose the Immortal. That is the worst of both worlds.
With the ability of Poik and Cassia to both launch projectiles at this Immortal, it's only a matter of time until it is secured, and there it is right there off of the Li Ming combo over the wall. Wubby extending did tap just before this, as Wubby is now getting 5-man rotated on. Never mind, it is canceled. They think better of it, and Wubby's gonna be okay. The members of Rage Quit Gaming heading towards topside. Breeze playing to interfere with the rotation a bit, as Muradin is always known to do, and a quite tanky Immortal pushing out this top lane. Pressure onto Smexy. Oh
Yeah, give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, that's what I want to see. And another kill. And then Azerite's going to go down as well. Anubrak with the W should just be able to walk out of this. Wubby with the peeling W. But that's what we like to see here, chat. Just a bunch of Granit Gaming players dying all at the same time. Insane Hogger spin here, actually. I think that was an experimental one. I don't know if he meant to go in and out of that bush multiple times. That is a thing you can try to do on purpose. And Breeze should be able to just jump out here. Yeah, nothing available to catch his jump. Limu, don't overextend. Come on, don't trade damage.
Limu gonna eat the full combo right there from the members of Granit Gaming. No game, no life.
Works.
Also getting out of there as well.
You don't have sustain. You can't do that. Oh, God.
No, they were just buying time for teammates to get the siege camp, Cav, don't you know?
No. This is a really important, chat.
Oh.
How aggressive you can be. Did Zanubrak died at bottom note too? How aggressive you can be with damage trading is specifically related to the support matchup in your comp. If your support has worse sustain than in-game support, you only want to trade damage when it will result in a kill. And you never want to trade damage into a Muradin unless you can kill him, because of the way his trait works. He will just back up and heal to full off of his trait every time.
Hippo Shai Uwu almost getting dropped in bot lane, but it's actually Azerite on that Cassia who is next to die. 7-sided strike! Ooh, giving Smexy a bit of a taste of his own medicine right there from No Game, No Life. The damage coming out, quite a bloodthirsty game. 12 deaths so far in the first 7 minutes. Shizakid looking for the flank at the moment. Breeze's Stormbolt does not connect. Now the push from Rage Quit Gaming onto this top fort is very quickly doing a lot of damage. We talk often about Karazim doing high levels of siege damage in general, but especially during Blazing Fist. Breeze taking quite a few hits here. Gotta be careful. The Avatar is popped. The members of Rage Quit Gaming now starting to back off from this top push after successfully forcing out that Avatar.
It's a really good cooldown trade, honestly, and they all have tap available, so they can tap, get that health back up. Karazim's not going to be able to heal them up, but tap works a little bit differently, of course. And Breeze interfering with the race here. I don't think... Oh man, the race is actually really close with the Ming. The Ming is a better racer than everyone on the enemy team, except for the Hanzo, but the rest of the race is pretty even.
And now a lot of damage being traded out back and forth here, but The Muradin is perfectly content to take that damage. Meanwhile, on the side of Three-Legged Cat, hold on the engage onto Muranos, who lands the shockwave onto multiple targets, somehow turning that into revenge kill onto the Cassia. Wow, and Nubarak will be second to fall, 1-for-1 between the two teams at the moment. Ooh, Genji gets that deflect, instantly interrupted. 3 HP! 3 on Limu, who barely squeaks on out of there by the skin of his teeth. Absolutely crazy stuff there in that moment. Overall, though, Granit Gaming still very far behind in Immortal Health. No game, no life, trading hits with Poik on the side here. But this, People Shy able to jump out of there, not getting interrupted on the jump by Wubby with that hammer, who certainly wanted it. And here's Poik, hold on a second, Azurite Lightning Ball does not go for very long, only 1 hit of damage, and all of a sudden this is an engage. Cocoon onto Smexy. Shizaki looking for anything, actually never mind, Fend just instantly killing Cocoon. Smexy though, a sitting duck outside of it. 2-for-1 in favor of Granit Gaming, as 3-for-1 in favor of Granit Gaming, as Rage Quit now starts to run away. The resets from Li Ming are huge. Breeze looking to get whatever he can. Wow. Alrighty, Cav, you got to be squirming a little bit right here.
They won the Immortal, right? It's fine. They just need to win a team fight, level 20 or something. It'll be fine. Poik demonstrating the worst possible way to use Disintegrate. The giant spin. It will, if your opponents see you doing that though, it may tilt them. So you gotta bear that in mind. There's
the psychological damage.
Yeah, yes. Breeze and Poik do spray the most of any players.
Yes, you have this knowledge thanks to Stats of the Storm, right? You can see their actual spray rates.
Yeah, you can see spray take. You can see
wow.
Spraying right after takedowns. Wow, that was cool. You can see total sprays. You can see number of dances, number of taunts. It's a stat that's actually tracked by the replay system. So if you load the replays up in Stats of the Storm, you can see which players are doing what. I'm
curious. Is there a single HGC player that just B-stepped the most?
I mean, a lot of them B-stepped a lot.
Who's the cream of the crop?
I mean, Rich may have the record. It's not clear. Maybe Arcaner. It's there was some competition for that. Like a lot of people B-stepped a lot. It just depended on, usually depended on if they were friends with someone on their team. Honestly, you'd usually B-step in a friendly way. In HGC, you wouldn't, B-step like I'm so much better than you. It's haha, I killed you and we're friends.
Yeah, no, like I remember I was playing against Dino the other day when I played in European SL, and I was B-stepping him for fun, but then I watched the actual game and he's just like tilted at his teammates and the game is really sad, and I'm like, oh, this came off way more mean than I intended. As Karzim using the 7-sided strike to dodge the arcane orb from Poik, Limu in there very deep. X-strike, Blakitney trying to get himself out of there. Azurite trying to fish him out from over the wall, but Limu some good dodges. Azurite getting baited into going in. No game, no life, able to get on out of there without dying, but it is a 1-for-1 at the end of the day as Hogger is finished off. Muranos not able to survive. Peepo Shy looking for a little bit of poke right there. And still, this is 2 camps pushing in favor of Rage Quit Gaming. The map pressure so much to deal with for Granit Gaming at the moment. Wubby looking to hop over this wall if possible. There's Breeze. Peepo Shy able to get out of there.
So you can see every fight they have, even if they trade 1-for-1, Rage Quit Gaming backs up, they have less overall health, right? And that, again, comes down to that's the same. If they could clean up their engages so that they were going on the same target consistently and not sort of these staggered entrances and then immediately all backed up, like that, just leave. You see, everyone starts backing up and said Limu, and Limu goes in. If Limu just didn't do that, if they just all backed up when they got those kills, they would be playing the Karazim comp like so incredibly well. But sometimes they'll stay in thinking they can get more, and they end up inting their health bars.
And inting your health bars is something you absolutely cannot afford to do when you have a Karazim solo healer. Limu using that agile dismount, trying to get away from the action right here. Wubby now jumping out on as well. Level 16 talents have been secured for Rage Quit Gaming. Rage Quit Gaming now leading in Immortal Health at the halftime mark with these two teams, and they're going to easily get this objective now. No game, no life. Zoning out the members of Granit Gaming, who are content to just take their bruiser camp, try and scale to 16. I can't help but wonder if there's any even thought of an attempt at here, but no.
Me,
nothing.
They didn't have vision of it. They could have rotated that far sooner, and Anubrak and Hogger can both go over the wall. Hogger actually really likes fighting in that little pit, especially... okay.
What's the face check for? Alrighty, right there. Limu, I've been informed in chat, perhaps with the most perfect timing ever by Fish. Just as that happened, Poik giving us a little bit of a laser light show. Fish said, there are no brakes on the Limu train, just as Limu face checks the bush. And now no game, no life trying to get on out of here, utilizing those dashes as Karazim. Stormbolt landing from Breeze, and the burst is huge. It feels like as soon as either team is able to get their hands on somebody, that person is just getting deleted. Dragon's Arrow parting the Red Sea yet again from Peepo Shy, not going to land the burst. Everybody's getting deleted all the time. That's how this game is. Look at the kill counts. Both teams have a kill per minute. 13 and 14 kills in 14 minutes. Shizaki started to back off right here. Oh, able to burrow charge to block that Stormbolt. What a fight so far. X-Strike used for some reason? I don't know.
I like the used for some reason version of casting this, because I agree. It's like, what was that expected to accomplish? And we are going to see a lot going on here. And it looks like people are going to come back just to die. And Fish, I have a counterpoint for you for the Limu train. The Limu train stops every time he dies, which so far is like 7 times this game. I'm just saying, there's a lot of stops on the Limu train. I want there to be less stops on the Limu train. That's what I'm saying.
You know that movie where the train can't stop, the brakes are stuck? Yeah, similar idea. Alrighty. I feel like that movie's been done a few times. Like there's one with a bus. Oh, the route from Smexy. What's that, Kev?
Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, Speed with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock as Poik continues to BM these disintegrates when there are clear damage targets to hit. No game, no life, getting absolutely popped by the burst. And again, 30 kills total in 15 minutes between these two teams. It looks like Diamond SL out here with the inting and getting popped that we're seeing at the moment. Full level lead for Granit Gaming. Azurite, though, hold on a second, gets hit by everything and will go down. Lightning Ball getting passed around, and that's okay. Shizaki, I'm wondering, how do you get popped as a Nubarak split from your team? Because it also happened in bot lane at the same time, where we saw a top lane kill and then Shizaki get popped down here in the 1v2. How is Shizaki finding himself isolated so often, unable to escape as an Nubarak of all heroes?
It's known as inting. It's an advanced technique reserved for only the highest of GM players. But no, realistically, what it comes down to is you have to play around vision at a really high level of play. And against Breeze and everyone in Granite Gaming, really in particular, if you don't play around vision, you're dead. You will die. So you have to assume, if you can't see them on the minimap, that they're in the bush. You have to just assume that, which means you can't use E for anything else. You have to play away from the bush, even if it means you like clear a little slower. Maybe sometimes some cases can't clear a wave at all. And then if someone comes out, you just need to immediately E. Like if they're coming at you, they are already assuming they can kill you.
Race positions for these Immortals now, setting up a very aggressive play in favor of Rage Quit Gaming at the moment, but level 20 for Granite Gaming are around the corner. If Granite Gaming can just stay afloat, they've got this. Oh, that's a long-range cocoon onto Li Ming, as Breeze is the burst target, but he's able to pop a very quick avatar. Dragon Arrow landing onto Smexy. Smexy very, very low in this fight. We gotta take the wide camera angle here because we're all over the place. No game, no life. Diving onto Smexy. Not able to finish him off. Actually going to get run down by the members of Granite Gaming. Not able to find that pick exactly when Rage Quit Gaming needed it. If they could have simply had a 5v4, the level 20 disadvantage would not have been a major problem here. Breeze fishing for the rewind kill onto Peepo Shy, but well-timed peel from Shizaki, able to save his life. Now hold on, Smexy A-okay, gonna be able to walk on out of there thanks to some peel from Wubby at the same time. Shizaki hopping the wall, Wubby able to jump out. Wait a second, Muranas though onto Smexy in the backline, gets some help from friends. Hanzo finishing off Smexy. It's now a 4-on-4. Limu, oh. Okay, it's still a 4-on-4. Barely won by the members of Rage Quit Gaming.
Go Rage Quit Gaming. Go Rage Quit Gaming. You got this. I believe in you.
I understand your situation, CavalierGuest, but I feel that as a commentator, we must at least attempt to show a level of neutrality and not outright cheer for specific teams.
I mean, this is a low shield immortal. It is very likely to get the keep as long as if no one on the other team dies. The neutral result here is that it gets the keep. If Granite Gaming manages to get a pick, ooh,
hold on,
no. That's Avatar out. Limu almost dies again. Limu, I'm gonna need you to stop playing like Look at Me. That's all I'm asking.
Seven-sided strike going out onto Azerite. The no control helping Muranas get in there and into a little quicker. He's actually gonna be okay. And now no game, no life, stunned out by Breeze. Hogger will go down as well. 2 members of Rage Quit Gaming dying. However, that can't take away the fact that Rage Quit Gaming has secured first keep on Battlefield of Eternity on a map where, Cav, I'd say keep advantages generally matter more than they do on other maps than in Battlefield of Eternity.
You've cast or cursed them, and I can't believe you've done this. So during HGC, this happened fairly consistently. People would draft scaling comps into tempo comps on Battlefield of Eternity. And so there was a meme that happened on HGC, during HGC where if you lost both keeps, it was time to win the game because your comp had scaled. So I actually think that Granite Gaming, it might not look like it from looking at the map, but is actually in a pretty good position here because their comp is pretty insane at 20, honestly. And the 20s from Rage Quit Gaming are not as good. So these close fights should start to slightly tilt the other way.
It is worth noting that this is not a rewind from a Nubarak, but instead a Traitor King. I'm not quite sure I understand the logic that goes into this specifically, Cavalier. Can you talk about this?
Just hit that tab and look at his death count, and you'll understand why he needs Traitor King.
Alrighty. Surprisingly here, Azerite with 6 deaths for Granite Gaming. I know we talk a little bit about how Azerite is the exception to this team's storied HGC history, though. It is interesting to see. Nubarak trying to do his best with that Traitor King to make sure he's going to survive these team fights as these two teams now very close to each other. And this is an instant burst combo onto Breeze. Malfurion can't do anything to save him. He just gets popped to the 7-sided strike, and that's a quick way to start out this fight. Dragon Arrow landing onto Smexy. Huge no control as well from Hogger. Limu, of course, gotta go down, but this is a 2 for 2, making a 3 for 2 in favor of Granite, actually. After what looked like a rare, very rough start, Poik dropping down to about 15 HP. Hey! Muranas, what is that spin? Able to get in there and finish this off. There's only 4 people alive total. Oh, it's huge for Peepo Shy. He's landing scatters. He's landing storm bolts all over the place. And this is a bruiser camp as well as some catapults on the core of Granite Gaming. All these guys have to do is just prevent Azerite from being able to defend. And at this point, wow, that's game. That's game in favor of Rage Quit Gaming, taking game number 1 versus Granite. Their catapults are trolling them. We can see some warning pings as they shoot the mid tower, but that is going to be game number 1. I know Cav over there probably doing a little dance, probably got a big grin on his face as Rage Quit Gaming now pressuring forward. Here's Breeze though, hold on. Breeze trying to interfere with this. Muranas turning around. You gotta hit the core though. Muranas looking for this Dragon Arrow landing out onto Breeze. It's gonna be too much. Rage Quit Gaming taking game number 1.
Thank you, Rage Quit Gaming. Thank you so much. Breeze actually caught out of position there at the very, very last second, getting blown up, and they almost turned it around despite that. Because of the turnaround, right? Because they managed to get those counter kills, but it just wasn't quite enough. And honestly, if Rage Quit Gaming had just backed up after that Murden kill and done nothing else, they would have won the game. But they just refused to disengage. But I'm glad their aggression worked out for them in this particular case.
That was one of the more wild finishes to a game I've seen recently. Just everything that happened in that last team fight was like, what? Poik getting away. He had like 15 HP. And then just like the Hogger spin. I don't think that was a no control, right? I think Hogger just geometried all over him. And to be able to finish that off, just absolute insanity. We've got the post-game scoreboard right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for you guys. How insane. And there's still another game to be played here. Okay, at this point, remember, CavalierGuest. Okay, so if Granit Gaming wins this game, ties the series up 1-1, how many points does Oxygen need to guarantee a LAN?
1.
1?
Yep.
Okay, wait. So if GG loses this one as well, then is Oxygen guaranteed LAN?
Oh no. Right now, we need because they did in 2-0. We needed 4 points going into this. So it's because they didn't get at least 1 point, we now need 3 points. But if they lose, we need 1 point.
Okay. Okay, so if GG gets 2-0'd right here, then Oxygen, in their 4 remaining matches, will only need to win a single game. That is 8 games total. They'll only need to win 1 game. If a GG manages to tie up the series, then they will need to get an additional point on the side of Oxygen. But I gotta say, that loss right there is making the prospect of going to LAN for Oxygen look extremely likely.
I agree completely. And then we'll just need to, focus a little bit harder on CCL and get CCL LAN locked up as well.
And now it looks like our map selection screen is still a little borked, friends. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show that. But I can tell you that Game 2, our final game of the day, game number 8 overall, Game 2 of Series number 4 here between Rage Quit Gaming and Granit Gaming, will be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Tomb of the Spider Queen is a bit of a mix-up from what we've been seeing. A whole lot of Battlefield of Eternity and Infernal Shrines lately. I'm going to appreciate a little bit of a change of pace here, as we have Rage Quit Gaming is specifically the team that chose Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Granit Gaming going to be the team that has first pick.
I feel like a lot of teams really like Infernal Shrines, and I think Infernal Shrines is actually the single most picked map in competitive across the board, which really makes me wish that some team would be like, nope, we're banning Infernal Shrines all the time. None of the practice that any other team does on Infernal Shrines matters, and we're never going to scrim on Infernal Shrines either.
Yeah, I remember you talked in the HGC era about ban maps, how teams would just consistently ban one map so they didn't have to practice it, lowering their overall practice burden.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that that's... What's up?
That's when teams were practicing 40 hours a week, and that was a good idea. If you're practicing less, the idea becomes even better.
Absolutely. What's a typical practice hours amount per week for an MC or a CCL team right now?
Well, I believe some MC streams aren't scrimming at all. So it's just individual practice, and then they show up for games on game day.
Like we do NGS?
Yes, like literally exactly like that.
Crazy.
Most CCL teams scrim in 2-hour blocks, and they'll scrim anywhere from 2 to 5 blocks per week, depending on the team. So you're looking at, in some cases, only 4 hours of practice per week, plus your individual practice, plus your games. I think Oxygen Season 1 scrimmed the most out of any CCL team ever, like in any season on average, and we were only doing like a max of 15 hours a week of scrims plus VOD review. So it's not even half of what teams are doing during HGC.
That is kind of wild, but of course when there's not as much money present, the practice time will go down a little bit as well. Rage Quit Gaming banning away the Tyrael this time around, not wanting to let Breeze have that Tyrael. Was he particularly scary on that character in the HGC area?
Tyrael? Yes.
Okay.
Breeze was, in my opinion, not scary on Muradin and Stitches, and he was most scary on Diablo and Anubarak.
Okay. Okay, good to know. Definitely some stuff to look out for as we see the Blaze picked up right there. Serving it up extra crispy for Wubby.
It's interesting that they first banned Joe. And the response to him was Tyrael.
What do you think that could be indicative of, Kev?
I think part of what they're saying, honestly, is that if we don't let the other team have too much wave clear, there's no way we can lose because we'll win the fights. You can win fights and lose via macro on Tomb pretty easily. If the other team just has really good defensive tools and a lot of wave clear, it becomes very hard to proactively do anything on the map. And Granit Gaming really, a lot of their team is very proactive. They want to do stuff. And so banning out Joe allows them more liberty to do stuff. Well then.
Alrighty, or maybe it's just they don't want to go against a Joe and they play Maiev. Who knows? Poik picking up the Maiev.
Maiev is Joe is one of the better tanks in the Maiev because of her unstoppable, and if you, especially on low ping, it is possible for you to blind Maev's pull so that it doesn't connect. And that's actually hugely annoying. There was actually a tech with Lili's old W1. I don't know if people remember this, but when you cast W1 on someone, it would instantly blind the nearest target. You could actually use that to counterplay Maiev pull. Unfortunately, they removed that talent in her latest mini rework. But blinds are something Maiev really doesn't like to play around because pull is such a central part of her identity. So removing the Joe actually makes a lot more sense to me now.
Righty, well, it certainly starts to materialize as something that is sensible. A Nubarak Malfurion picked up by Shizakid and No Game, No Life, respectively. And
I don't like that Malfurion pick. Unless they're going to pick something that has a save mechanic. But Tyrael's already banned. I assume they're not going to pick Zarya Lunara. That's just strange. Medivh is pickable, but Maiev is actually an old school counter to Medivh. Ooh.
Yeah, you're able to do the spread damage that Medivh's not particularly adept at dealing with, as well as yank people away from portals. That's always something to consider. What's up, Kev?
Well, it's just, even if they take the portal, it still pulls them, so it's still a lot of damage. It makes portal less reliable as an escape tool. But with the Kerrigan, actually, Medivh is not bad here. They're spending a long time thinking about it. I don't know if they're a Medivh team. It's just going to be a Sylvanas. Okay, well. They took one game, though. Good job, Rage Quit Baby. I appreciate you. I mean, this is an out draft. This is like a stunningly one-sided draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, the early Leoric pick I find interesting. The Malfurion with no ability to protect your teammates from that burst damage. A lack of burst damage follow-up on your Nubarak. I'm really not seeing the game plan from Rage Quit Gaming, but hey, there have been plenty of times where I looked at a team and I said, I have no idea what in the hell this draft is supposed to do, and then I actually saw them play it, and it worked out. So I'm not ruling anything out specifically, but I tend to agree with you here, Cav, that it looks like an out draft in favor of Granit Gaming to me. We're going to see how it shakes out. Fish is informing us in the chat that Limu is in fact a Medivh player. I think it would have been interesting to see, as I'm just knocking my headphones off my head here, I think it would have been interesting to see. And now we're going into game number 2. Let's slide it over to in-game. Game number 2, number 8 overall for the day. Final game of the day here of Masters Clash on May 15th. We're looking here on our left side of the screen. Rage Quit Gaming. No Game, No Life going to be playing that Malfurion. Muranos on that Leoric. Limu, Sylvanas. Peepo Shy Uwu on the Lunara. You gotta say Uwu in a goofy way. And Shizakid on the Nubarak. Who we got on Granit Gaming, Cav?
On the right hand side of the map, we will have Smexy on Turan, one of his best heroes of all time, by the way. Breeze on Blaze, Wubby on Falstad. This is going to be sort of an offlane Falstad dynamic. Azurite on that Kerrigan, and
that's on
Maiev. Oh wow, they
Azurite
swapped.
Is the Maiev.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh,
That's not how they picked it in draft.
Gotcha. I want to see Poik specifically when you're talking about this Kerrigan skin. That has one of the few banned cosmetics in the entire game, specifically the mount associated with it. Poik not using the banned mount right there, as we see. And Azurite, rooted by the Malfurion, will set up first blood in favor of Rage Quit Gaming. Wubby trying to finish off Shizakid, gets baited himself. And hey, Cav, we were skeptical about the draft, but that is a quick 2 first kills to start out the game for Rage Quit. Limu getting comboed in by Poik, but he's got his teammates with him. He's going to be okay. Poik actually arguably losing the damage trade, and now the bot lane push continues from Rage Quit.
So that's an execution problem. Azerite is not supposed to go that deep with the Maiev in the early game. The way this comp should work is it has more wave clear. So it wants to clear waves, be ahead on the rotation, be ahead on the vision game because minions are shoved up, and then look for picks. Whereas Poik or Azerite just went in looking for a pick before waves were cleared. The critical thing you need to understand about Maiev is she clears waves and then looks for picks. It's never the other way around. So everyone else understood that and backed up as soon as Azerite was going in. So there was a huge disconnect.
Kev, kill number 5 of this game just happened 96 seconds in. Kill number 5. Okay. What is this game?
It's a bloodbath. it's a bloodbath.
If
you don't push your buttons on wave, your waves aren't pushed out. Like, you need to push the waves out and then look for picks. That's how the comp works.
So far, we were both highly skeptical of Granit Gaming in the draft right there, but nearly a full level lead secured for Rage Quit thanks to some highly effective early game aggression. And now Granit Gaming starting to push mid with the assistance of this Bruiser camp right here. It's hard to fight into this though, but Rage Quit Gaming looks like they maybe want it 4v3. Not going to do it just quite yet. Muranas duking it out with Poik in this top lane. And now, hold on a second, a little bit of trading back and forth right here. Azerite jumps out, will get followed by Shizakid on the follow-up stun. It's actually Smexy going down, though, taking a lot of damage. Smexy gets popped right there. Breeze will be next. Another double kill for Rage Quit Gaming, and we didn't expect it to go this way, but Rage Quit 6 kills in the first 3 minutes right here, right now. Webby able to barrel roll out of their Peepo Shy, getting some additional chip damage in the meantime.
Yeah. When you fall behind, when you give up kills like this, it's not something that a lot of teams practice around because you don't normally give up this many kills early. When you give up this many kills early, step one is you have to reestablish lanes. You have to get your lanes pushed out. You have to be clearing them. You basically have to fix everything lane-wise, and then you can go punish a mistake as soon as it happens. So no game, no life, giving them that kill. This is, by the way, terrible. The worst thing you can ever do when you're ahead in experience is die because of the comeback mechanic. That was almost half a level.
But Kev,
for Granit Gaming.
But Kev, Malf is the best hero at diving this spot of the map early game by yourself.
Yeah, and he almost killed the Falstad. Like, the Falstad almost did die, to be fair. But then he stuck around and didn't just immediately dip. You got to immediately dip when you go for risky plays like that and they don't work out.
Trust me, man, I grew up in Texas. I knew a lot of people who knew how to immediately dip. As we see the pressure onto top lane from Poik, not going to do much of anything to Muranas as he Wraith walks right on out of there. Now a Bruiser Camp advantage in mid lane for Rage Quit Gaming, simultaneously pressuring bot lane with Limu on that Sylvanas, shutting down this bottom fort thanks to the black arrows. Gonna get a bit of a zoom out here as the root. Oh, okay, Wubby? Wubby very nearly just walking in and dying as he gets raw rooted by No Game, No Life. Will receive some heals from Smexy as well as a tap, so no need to fully back off just quite yet. Now Poik in here as well, and they are all staring at each other. No fights breaking out just quite yet. Breeze dropped to half HP.
The Treant is actually almost what killed him there, because it is not Emerald Dream at 1. It is
we got
Treant.
a Broccoli? Hey!
Yeah, the Broccoli. Broccoli. Oh, wow. A new Brack is dead. Okay.
Oh, No Game, No Life getting oiled, and the members of Granit Gaming still chasing. Poik hopping that wall to go after him. There it is. Poik with the full dive. After a bit of a shaky, rough start for the members of Granit Gaming, all of a sudden really getting it together. Limu. Wow! Let's go. Smexy.
Oiled the E destination. Smexy, again, one of the best Terrans ever, like in the history of the game. Not exaggerating at all to say that. That was clean.
Absolutely clean. And then my favorite part is that right after, Smexy also landed the owl onto bot lane, onto the Lunara behind the fort as well. Granit Gaming, after a rough start, all of a sudden just very ahead. It's like that early game never even happened. I almost am inclined to think, Cav, that when a team dies 6 times in the first 2 minutes that they're going to lose, but then Granit Gaming is just doing this what? Like, I don't even understand how you don't get snowballed out of that.
When you die in the early game, the other team has to actually like make sure they're clearing waves, not missing soak, and then also make sure they don't die in return. So basically, the solution to you inting is to have the enemy team int also, and then it evens up perfectly. So now we're 6 kills to 6, and the game looks pretty even. That's just the trick.
I just think it should be illegal to actually have the enemy team come back ahead of you after you kill them that much early game. And I think that mouth dive is kind of indicative of what I'm talking about here. Muranos now Wraith walking on out of there. He's going to be A-okay. A little bit of turn-in pressure right here. Granit Gaming doesn't have enough gems in their coffers, just 3 gems short right now. About to get a few more. Peepo Shy zoning out Poik here on this bottom turn-in. Granit Gaming looking to have the Maiev secure their own bruiser camp. This Maiev is Naisha's memento at 1, so her ability to do that camp is fairly solid. Muranos now getting in 35, barely gets it despite an attempted breeze interrupt. And now another Web Weaver. Oh, Limu able to jump on out of there.
I'm glad that Rage Quit Gaming got the turn in and then immediately all dipped. They all left. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Don't give them a fight right before turn in, because if you die, the turn in will get absolutely no value. Sure, if you get a kill, the turn in value will go way, way up. But you're only going to get turn in value right now from top anyway. Mid or bottom is shoved in by that Siege Gang camp. Mid has to be cleared, and we're going to see another kill going. Oh, he barely lives. Maybe the Gust. The Gust actually saved them, I think. That was not a good Gust.
Ooh, Smexy gets entombed and will just go pop in the middle of it. Wubby now not threatened. Here's a Cocoon onto Breeze. Does get stunned out perfectly. Azerite actually jumping in there. Will be able to set up the kill onto Muranos and the Leoric and the Malfurion at the same time. Poik as well chasing in there, but Maiev will fall. Limu will die for getting that Maiev kill, but Wubby will die for getting the Limu kill. No, he won't. And now Shizakin deep in there. So many people are dead. It's absolutely absurd. The raw levels of bloodlust and just thirst for battle that we're seeing. Kerrigan in the Chrysalis now getting pressured by multiple members of Rage Quit Gaming. Combo fished for, lands nothing, but it doesn't matter. Who needs a combo when you can just queue in and right click? Poik is in here. And those are some more kills, 9 kills to 11. Wubby, what's going on here? Wubby, Gus Shizakin into the action. That trade is worth it, though, if you're the members of Granit Gaming. If you can secure all the gems, but no Limu able to come in and pick up more gems. No game. When is the fighting going to stop, Gav?
When death timers get long enough that they can't all come back, which is going to take a while for Leo specifically, because he's about to come back up and he's going to look for something. Nope.
Cav, I honestly thought you were going to say, when I asked you, I thought you were just going to say when the core explodes. All right.
No, you can't keep a fight. When death timers get long enough, you can't keep a fight going in perpetuity. Death timers are short enough, you can keep a fight going in perpetuity. It's just how it works.
Yeah, you keep getting reinforcements from your team in time as they respawn over and over. Azerite stepping up very aggressively, does get burrow charged, but will yank Shizakin toward their teammates. Murnos getting absolutely deleted by Poik, as Poik now has his eyes on the members of Rage Quit Gaming. It's already a double kill. Looking for Limu in addition to everything. Will not land the combo. Azerite hopping the wall. Yanking Peepo Shy Uwu in there. Jet propulsion not going to land either. Deep oil. Here's Falstad also flying in because the party never ends. No game, no life is next to be targeted. 1-for-1 trade between these two teams. Might I remind you, this whole thing is happening behind a blue side fort as Breeze is next to go down and drops like 9 million gems in the meantime as well. Level 16 advantage still being enjoyed by GG, but they just lost a lot of gems and gave a decent amount of XP over to Rage Quit.
Despite losing those gems, they still have the gem advantage. They have 40 turned in with 25 on them, so they actually have turn-in available, whereas Rage Quit Gaming does not have turn-in available, and the bloodbath is going to continue. The beatings will continue until core dies.
28 kills in 11 minutes so far in this game. Everybody just getting killed on CD. And now Limu dumping in 2 gems in the back right there. Shizaka getting yanked by Azerite. I said this the first time I cast MC. I was like, I think this is the most bloodthirsty game I've ever seen. And then now I'm looking at this game. All right, Raw Root lands onto Azerite. Poik's in there, gets Twilight Dreamed, though. As soon as he tries to enter combat, Poik, only 400 HP, lands the Ultralisk onto Shizakid. Will be able to get out of there. Murnas fishing for something, not able to find it. Does have Entomb for the possibility, though. Owl going to interrupt Shizakid on the turn in.
What build is
Raw Root, Raw Root, what is this? Oh, Wubby! And there's an Entomb bunker used to try and survive as well. Breeze utilizing the bunker to escape the Entomb. Pretty classic combo right there. Shizakid now overextended. Will get not revenge killed. Wait, he walks back in? Wait, Shizakid's still in there. Cocoon onto Blaze.
Please stop pumping! Stop pumping into my head!
Poik will get dropped. Azerite, is he going to take the shade? Does take the shade in. Breeze is next to fall. Azerite going to join them in death right there. 33 kills in 13 minutes.
So while we're thinking about it, what build is Leoric right now?
That's a great question. I don't show talents nearly as much as I should, so there we go.
Okay, so it is full W build. Leoric.
Did he just die to the... What is going on?
It's Owl build coming out of Tehran. 54 stacks on level 1 for Wubby. Kerrigan has finished her level 4 stacks. It is Twilight Dream. So, and it's actually the, in addition to the Mouth level 1 giving Treant, which it can be bad specifically in this matchup. It gives Tehran a target to auto, and it gives Kerrigan something to jump to. Also going for the Root level 7, which is not a talent we see picked pretty much ever in competitive, assuming there's anything to cleanse. It increases the Root duration of Root by 25%, and it gives you a reset mechanic when if you get stunned, it comes instantly off of CD, and you can re-root. So we're actually seeing him eat some stuns on purpose in a couple of cases, if anyone's curious why that's happening, so he can get a second root out and fight.
This is all you need to do, chat. If you play Malf, you need to lock in the root stun reset root talent, so that way when you get stunned, you can tell team it was on purpose. Now Shizakid getting pulled past Poik. Oh, Entomb actually somewhat blocking Muranas' team from following up on the kill attempt here. The combined efforts of the boss, Webweaver, and Captain Planet onto top fort at the moment. Almost finishing it off. It's actually a top keep. Jet propulsion does not land. Everything, everywhere, all the time, all at once. So much damage. Breeze is actually the first one to fall. Chat, just whenever a fight starts, just try and say a name and guess who's going to be first to die, and you will always be wrong. Alright, and now Wubby taking a lot of damage. Smexy will go down, but after Wubby, it's now a triple kill plus 20 advantage for Rage Quit Gaming. Azerite yanking Limu in right here. Rage Quit Gaming, knowing they've got these massive advantages, is just going to go ahead and pressure core. Poik gets popped next. Azerite, the sole remaining member of Granit Gaming, dodges the Entomb, will not be buried alive today. GG, well played, dropped, and Granit Gaming has been 2-0'd by Rage Quit Gaming.
Woo! I mean, I gotta. This might sound mean, but I gotta hand it to Azerite for running it, letting Oxygen be 1 point away. Seriously, every time everyone else in Granite Gaming was backing up, Azerite was like, "Oh, this is the perfect time to go in," and it doesn't. Full melee comps like this, you really need to have really strong coordination about when it's appropriate to go in and when it's not. You got to approach from different angles so that you can't get caught in massive clumps. And that level of execution just wasn't there. And it wasn't like a mechanical problem. Azerite obviously pumped damage on Maev, and Rage Quit Gaming helped him out with that by clumping into his Qs. But it was the timing of when those fights happened.
Hey, Cav, that game had 40 kills. 40 kills. What was that? Trader King also locked for a Nubarak, and weirdly enough, I feel like I'm seeing Trader King more than I'm seeing Rewind lately.
Yeah, a Nubarak is squishy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as it turns out, a Nubarak is really squishy. You can't just like live at 20. It doesn't work that way. You got to go Trader King into most drafts.
I take it Trader King's passive spell armor does not stack with your W spell armor from the Nerubian armor?
It does not.
Okay. Because the word bonus could apply to it. It says bonus max HP and spell armor, so I really wish they would just take a look at the tooltips and cut down on all this ambiguous phrasing and whatnot, which is rampant in this game, but I would also like a unicorn when that happens as well. What a game.
You know that's just a horse with a horn, right? You can just buy a horse and put a horn on it.
Yes, just buy a horse. I'm sorry, I think I've been eating too much avocado toast to afford a horse for me to just keep in my backyard for the sole purpose of having a unicorn, regardless.
I mean, if you own a horse and you don't own a place to put it, they rent stables, but then you can what is known as horse poor. A lot of people who own horses are horse poor, which is that they spend a lot of time working, they have decent income, but they spend so much money taking care of their horse that they're actually poor. My sister, when I was growing up, was a dressage rider. So she had horses loaned to her. A dressage rider. So dressage is a form of riding a horse that is extremely stylized now. It was originally how you would train horses to like kick on command or march in certain ways for warfare when horses were actually used in wars. So she was a professional dressage rider, and she was good. So like people would loan her horses. She didn't own her own horse, but I met a lot of people who were very horse poor.
You know, full respect to you and however you decide to spend your money. If you're not hurting other people, then like go for it. But I can't imagine going to work all day just to spend all my money on a horse. All right. Let's take another look here at that post-game lobby. We showed it a little bit earlier. We'll bring it back up on the screen. But that does conclude with that match right there the entirety of today's Masters Clash games. Cav, I know you gotta be happy. At this point, Oxygen only needs a single game to secure their position at LAN, and then once they win that, they can all buy tickets and get ready to travel to it. Cav, you ever been to France before?
I have not, but I'm going to bring my wife if we do get to go, and she speaks fluent French.
Hey,
and has been to France before, so she's very excited to return.
Yeah, how exciting. Well, it sounds very, very likely. Hopefully there is not an imminent collapse of Oxygen failing to pick up a single game for the next 4 series. Outside of that, things are looking really good for you. Congratulations, Cav, and thank you very much for coming here and commentating these series with me today. Appreciate you, bud.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you, Twitch chat, for the memes in chat. I appreciate it. Also, I want to point out one thing before we go. Malf did more damage than Lunara that game. I'm just saying.
What?
Yeah, Malf did 700 more damage than Lunara that game.
Anytime you're talking about Malf doing a lot of damage, this talent is always the culprit. Celestial alignment right here means that your auto attacks chunk, but
it wasn't until like 20 stacks of Treant. That wasn't it. It was
It's both, all right? It's both. If a Malf is topping damage and he doesn't have at least one, if not both of these talents, I am incredibly surprised every time. Because that is where the primary source of your hero damage is coming in. That blows my mind, what you just said, though. Hold on, let me see here. So of the top rank people by hero damage, Malf is number 4 on this list.
Yeah, and he's second on his team.
Why?
I actually had a game with Cascon in ARAM the other day where he was top damage in the ARAM, just like across the board. He did 80,000 damage. Second place was 60k. So nice. If you're really good at Malf, if you're really good at damage Malf in particular, which is, to be fair, it is a little bit of a different playstyle, you can pump. You can pump. At roughly 30 or 40 stacks, a Treant starts hitting as hard as a human form Greymane. So if it gets an average of 2 autos off, it's like you just subbed a Greymane in for a burst kill. And like 70 stacks, it starts doing as much as a Worgen form Greymane. So, you know. And Treant will average 2 attacks on a hero that gets rooted. More if the enemy team doesn't focus it and kill it. So that's where a lot of that damage was coming from.
Absolutely just wild. Start to finish already. But I don't even know how to process anything that happened. This entire series was just wild. I feel sorry for the people that might have. You didn't let me finish the sentence. I was gonna say I feel sorry for the people that might have missed out on watching that due to hopping over to CCL. Because what a crazy way to finish this all out right here. But all good things must come to an end. Thank you for being here, Cav. Would you like to shout anything out? Maybe shill yourself a little bit before we go?
Yeah, shout out to myself. I'm CavalierGuest on Twitch. I do a show called Inside the CCL every week, where I answer questions that you have about why people did things in CCL, how the games went. You can post questions for that in my Discord, the next to Schoolhouse. And thank you, Mockery, for having me. And shout out to Oxygen for giving me so much support. It's been a little bit of a rough week, but we'll do better next week, guys. I promise.
Hey, man, this right here was a good surprise, at least, to close out right there. Like like we were saying, you gotta be excited about LAN. Either way, thank you so much, Kev. Thank you. I have dropped your link to your channel in the Twitch chat. If any of y'all are interested in getting better at Heroes of the Storm, I highly recommend you go, okay, guys? I say this a lot. I feel like I was SL good at HOTS. I was ranked good at HOTS, and then I met Cav, and then I became kind of like actually good. I'm still nowhere near a lot of these players' levels, but his ability to impart understanding of the game is second to none. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and look for a new home for you all here. Gonna find us a raid recipient. Just gonna go ahead and send y'all over to Grubby for CCL. You all have a great day, and I'll see you soon.